So I just wrapped up participating in my first amateur radio contest since I became a ham back in 2020, and now it is time to export my log from RUMlogNG and turn it into a Cabrillo format and upload it to the ARRL. I'm going to show you how to do that today on KF5 IRB Ham Radio. So maybe you're like me and maybe you just participated in your first amateur radio contest, or maybe this is your first time using RUMlogNG to log your contest contacts. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So before we get started, I just want to say this real quick. Do not use all the same options that I'm using on the Cabrillo file form. Make sure that the options that you are selecting, you are using the ones that you need to select for submitting for the particular category that you are entering as. If you select the wrong categories, you could have log errors and you might get points deductions. So just make sure that the options that you are selecting are the correct options for your log submission for the category that you are entering, to make sure that you don't get those point deductions. So just make sure you check the ARRL contest rules for this contest to make sure that the options you are selecting are correct for this particular contest. So let's go ahead and jump over to the computer. So this is my contest window in RUMlogNG. This has my log for the contest, and I'm just going to show you guys how to export it. It's actually really easy to do. So what you do is you go up here to the contest tab up here in the Mac toolbar, click it, and the file format that you're actually looking for is a Cabrillo file. You're going to click the export Cabrillo, and now you need to fill everything out. Your category, this was not applicable for me. The contest is the ARRL DX single sideband for this particular contest. So this is why it is important when you set up your log for the contest that you select the right one, because this has the particular context for the ARRL. I was assisted because I did use spotting. So if you didn't use spotting or whatever the rules of the contest are, you're going to do non-assisted or assisted. So I'm going to personally use assisted on my log because I did use assistance. I used DX clusters. So if you didn't use DX clusters or whatever, you would be not assisted. So just make sure that you read the rules of the contest before you submit your log, and make sure that you're selecting all the right options. These options may be different for you. So my band, I worked all the bands. Category mode was single sideband, and I was single operator. So one thing to note about this, you have single operator, multi-operator, and check log. So what a check log is basically if you're just playing around on the bands and you're not planning on submitting your log towards actual credit for the contest, you would select check log here. And then your category location, not applicable. In the power, low power, because I was in the low power category with 100 watts or less. Category time, not applicable. Category transmitter, one transmitter. I only use one transmitter, my FT710. Category overlay, you can change that when you actually get to the ARRL website to upload your log. Category station, also not applicable. Certificate, not applicable. So the claim score is going to be your score that you can see over there on the right hand side. And mine, I'm just going to double check that it's right. 14,040 points is what my total ended up being. And for your location, you're going to use the ARRL location map, but you should be seeing it on the screen right now. And then you're going to put your email address and your name and address. I personally put the number, address, and the street, and the city, state, and zip code. And I put United States of America since I live in the United States of America. And down here under operators, you're going to put your call sign. Now the soapbox is just a place for you basically to talk about the contest and basically say anything you want. Give your feedback on it, or put anything in there that maybe people that worked you may want to know, what you maybe learned from the contest, or just anything that you may want to put down there, maybe something that helps the person who is reviewing your log. So I personally wrote that it was my first time working a contest and it was a part-time effort due to conflicting work schedule during the contest. And I talked about how I didn't plan on doing the contest in the first place, but I had an absolute blast. Once I started, I had a goal of making 100 contacts and fell short at only 78. I was not able to make any contacts on 160 through 80, and I've never heard sideband DX on 40 before this contest. And I talked about how 10 and 20 did exceptionally well for me, that I worked several new DXCCs. I gave the information about my rig that I used, and I talked about having to go to a 15 amp hour battery due to power failure, and I put what software I logged in and my QSL information. Told everybody that I uploaded to Logbook the World's QRZ, EQSL, and hopefully I will get some QSL confirmations via mail or Logbook the World and QRZ, because I am trying to work for some awards on both of those. And then I just put my personal stats from the contest, the numbers and all that stuff, and my total points once again, and just gave a thank you to everyone out there who worked me. So once you have all the information on the Cabrillo log form filled out, then you click save. So then once you have saved your Cabrillo log somewhere on your computer where you'll be able to find it, then that's where you go over to the ARRL website and submit your log. I will be sure to drop a link down in the description so that you can find this link easier. So now we are over here on the ARRL website to submit my Cabrillo log. So I'm gonna type in my email, ki5irehemradio@gmail.com. I'm gonna put the call sign I used for the contest, which was my call sign, my location during the contest. This is your section. So for me, that would be North Texas, and ARRL affiliated contest. I was not affiliated with a club. And this is where you're going to choose your power level, QRP, 100 watts or less, which is low power, or more than 100 watts, which is high power. For me, I use 100 watts or less. And how many people operated under the call sign during the contest? Only one, because that's my call sign. At the time of the contest, did you use spotting assistance of any kind or software capable of simultaneously decoding multiple call signs? And this would be where the assisted or non-assisted category would come into play that you filled out on the Cabrillo file format earlier. For me, did I use any assistance? And yes, I did. I used the assistance of a DX cluster. And what band category are you entering? And again, this is dependent on what you want to enter as. And some people like myself prefer to enter all bands, or you can enter only one band. And that could either be more challenging or less challenging depending on the situation. So me personally, I'm going to enter all category. And if you are younger than 25, enter your age. And this is where also that limited antennas that I was talking about earlier, that it was grayed out and said not applicable, this is where it comes into play. So as you can see here, click on any overlay categories that describe your operation. And I'm going to select limited antennas. And I'm going to select my file, and as you can see now my file is attached. And then after that, you click submit log, and it just brings up a confirmation window. I'm not going to click submit because I have already submitted my log. So yeah, it's really as easy as that. Not a whole lot of things that you have to do. It's just a lot of things that you have to make sure that you fill out right before you export the file from RUMlogNG. And then when you get over to the ARRL website, you have to make sure that everything is right as well. And again, the options on the forms may not be the same for you that they are for me. So do not just select all the same options that I selected, because they may not be applicable to your situation. Again, make sure that you read the rules before you submit, and make sure that whatever you are submitting is within the rules of the ARRL contest. So just make sure that you are selecting your own options, and that your options that you are selecting are applicable to your category as defined by the ARRL DX contest rules. And that's all I got for you guys today. I just want to put this video out there and show you guys how to export a Cabrillo file from RUMlogNG and upload it to the ARRL website. I couldn't really find many resources on how to do this when I submitted my log earlier yesterday, but that is how you do it. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you be able to submit your logs for the ARRL contest or other contests in the future as well, where you might use RUMlogNG to log your contacts. Until next time, guys, 73.